Hey guys, and welcome to another Tips on Tricks episode. My name is Zaid Halatzis.
I'm Apisecg, and let's see how you did today. Our first video comes from Mitch. Let's see what he came up with.
When I was a teenager, I had a science teacher called Dr. Murphy. He was quite an eccentric character. He would go off on all these tangents about quantum physics. He would do all of these home experiments that nobody knew much about. But one Monday morning, I came into school. I had my science lesson with him. And he took me aside and he said, "Mitch, I want you to have these." And he gave me some rubber bands. And I was a bit confused. I thought, rubber bands? Why have you given me these? But he said, "Don't worry, I'll explain tomorrow." So I came into school the next day. But for him, there was no next day. He never actually came into school again. Nobody knows quite what happened to him. Now, I think about these rubber bands and why he gave them to me. But then when I remember what he used to teach me, it all kind of makes sense. The first thing he used to go on about a lot was parallel universes. The idea that there's multiple universes out there that are identical to ours, apart from a few small differences. And if we wanted to, we can actually jump between those universes. And if we wanted to, we can jump back again. And theoretically as well, if we did it a few more times, then what could happen is that the two universes can merge into the same one universe. The second thing that he used to talk a lot about was quantum theory, the idea that theoretically one object can pass through another object. Or maybe an object can disappear, so like the sun disappearing, but that's a bit impractical for us to do right now. So another example of this would be something like so. If you watch the pen passing through one object, just like that. The final thing that he used to talk about was something a bit science fiction-y. It was wormholes, the idea that you could travel through one portal over here and end up in another portal over there. Now, he loved this a lot. In fact, some people actually reckon that this is how he disappeared. He was able to find a wormhole, and that's where he went. Now, they're a bit hard to find. I think there's one over here somewhere. So, Miss Murphy, if you're in here anywhere, I hope that you can get this message. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
That was really well done. Really well done, Mitch.
That
Bravo.
was a perfect rubber band routine. You combined so many effects and they worked beautifully together.
Also, kudos on the crediting at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Good for you.
So, we have some tips and they're not about technique because your technique was flawless.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, when you do the first move, it's a bit of an unnatural, position.
Yeah.
And you do not explain it in your script. Like, if you said that your professor had shown you to hold them like this, and then maybe something would happen.
Yeah, because
it would make sense.
Yeah, if your profession began with when he gave you that, he hold them like this, and he told you that these represent parallel universes or whatever, then it will make sense to continue doing the whole switching between the universes.
Yeah, like if you said that in an old classroom he showed you that, so
yeah,
something like that. Also, when displaying them, you could actually say this represents our universe, this represents another universe. Yeah. So you clarify the meaning of everything.
And it's important to introduce all the props because at some point before you do Danny Urban's Friedman's penetrations, you with the rubber band that just
pops out of frame.
Yeah, and like. What is it?
It doesn't necessarily have to represent something, but
you can have it in
take
your
it
pocket.
out.
Keep it in frame. Keep it inside. You can have it in your pocket. Then talk about solid objects or whatever and use it.
Yeah. So mostly it was script based or advised. Also, at the end of the effect, remember in the previous video, I think it was Kamal Nath when he was acting surprised at his effects. You had the right to act surprised in the end. You didn't do it, but it's okay. You didn't have to.
Yeah, and also because at the end you supposedly talk with your teacher who
Yeah,
wherever
which
he
I
is.
loved when you say. So if you're here,
Yeah.
I loved that beat. It got very eerie for a second, and I
And
loved it.
it's nice because when it is vanished, supposedly he takes it.
Yeah,
And you can react to that.
yeah.
Like
It gives you the right to say, oh, you can react because you didn't know if it would work. If someone else is doing it. All in all, amazing, great performance, great combination of effects.
very good, very good. Thank you so much, Mitch.
Thank you. So this next effect is from Apisecg G, and let's see what it looks like.
Let's just call him G.
Or Abi. Let's just see what the effect looks like. Let the magic speak for itself.
Wonderful.
That was beautiful.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. First of all, I have to say, because I'm a freak about this. I love the music.
Yeah.
If you wanna have music at your magic, that's the kind of music that I like. It comes to personal taste, but the that the previous videos had are not, for my taste when it comes to magic.
Yeah.
Music apart.
Let's go. Let's take it from the beginning.
Okay, so at the beginning, it's you have a strange selection process.
Yeah. I think what you were trying to do is what we call the cut deeper force, which is supposedly the spread a few cards, turn them over, spread a few more, turn them over. You can do it with 2 or 4 cuts, and then reach out to the face down one.
Yeah.
And that's the first one.
But it makes sense if you do it a lot of times.
Yeah, because you just went like this, turned it face up, and then went for the cut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically if you told me
A
like,
cut.
cut a card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you wanted to have if you need the face up cards, which I think you do, just make them cut somewhere and just turn it over. Or do the cut deep.
You could say you could ask and cut the cards and turn them over.
Yeah.
And it would be not justified, but it could,
Yeah.
fly by.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just a strange selection process, but we get that you did it for the method. Now, when you try to show the 9, the selected card, first of all, the whole video is at a strange angle.
It's from there.
It's
so
like, yeah.
So you tried to show the 9 and you almost broke your
Yeah.
wrist. So you don't have to break your hands
You
to
can
show
just,
the card.
Yeah, just do the whole card, just flip it over.
Or either flip it over one hand or just turn your wrist and show
Yeah.
it like this.
Because you were struggling
Yeah, you're right.
with your card, so there's no need. Then you try to get a move. I don't know how to say this without. It seems that you're struggling to.
Yeah, you're here. You're around here, and
you want to get a card.
somewhere.
Yeah, where it needs to be.
Yeah, and you're struggling to do it. Just push upwards.
Yeah.
Push upwards.
To create some space for the card to.
Yeah. To go where you want to.
Also, you use your thumb to get to.
You do this.
You do this. Well, you
And,
could
yeah,
use another method.
Maybe
with
use another finger.
another finger. And we wanted to say kudos for milking the chains.
Yeah, that's the thing I see
done.
a lot of times. A lot of people do color change like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
You really milked it, the thing, and also it was spot on in the music as well.
Yeah, the crescendo of the music,
Yeah.
and you milked the fact that it was a 3 and a 9, and you showed
Yeah.
the first beat of the number. It was beautiful, but then again, the card that was used to make the color change was left blank, and you just discarded with no You did not draw attention to it, which is good.
If we're being honest, it doesn't make much sense for the card to be black,
like
because
if it was scripted.
What?
If it was scripted, it could somehow.
If it was scripted, it can have some sort. I mean, if you're here and you change a card, you change that card. There's no reason for that card to leave its egg, unless you justify it somehow. But if you justify it, show us that, because it was like an after you drop it down, then we're like, oh, the card is black.
Yeah. Like I legit, when I saw it, I was like, oh, and it also changed, which is beautiful, but because we did not draw attention to it and it didn't make sense without explaining it, it was a bit strange. But great performance, we really loved it, and it shows that non-verbal magic can also be beautiful.
Yes.
So congrats.
Thanks. Our next submission is from 52 Illusion. It's called Card Magic.
Thank you so much for that submission.
Thank you.
So let's start with the obvious. You have like 17 seconds of unnecessary cardistry when you begin. Like you do a move, you do a spread, you do a fun.
It's what we call visual noise. You see it in a lot of performers. You know, when they speak, they're like this, they're shuffling.
That's actual noise as well.
Yeah, they're doing that. They're just cutting the cards, they're fanning it. It's unnecessary.
Yeah, and if you were speaking and fiddling with your deck, I personally wouldn't mind that. Like, if you're saying something and you did a couple of cuts, while we're talking, I don't mind that.
I mind it. It's distracting.
That's a personal opinion. Yeah. Like, but when we just see your hands, there's no. I mean, if you speak to us and you do this, unconsciously to fiddle with something, I forgive it. I get it. I do it sometimes. No. It's okay to cut the cards. But when we just see your hands and just cuts and the spread, it doesn't benefit the performance at all. Unless then it was like a very flourishy performance, like where you used the same cardistry move to produce a card or something like that.
Yeah, and again, it makes sense if you use the whole cardistry thing to add to the effect. Because there's this old rule that if something doesn't add, it subtracts and it applies to everything. So if those things doesn't add something to the overall effect, it takes away from it.
Can I just let's see? You use a move that is this the video? Yeah. There you go. You use a move that I think you're not very comfortable with.
Yeah, a way to take a card from the middle of the deck.
Yeah. Which is a beautiful move. If I remember correctly, it's from Dan and Dave.
Yeah.
Is this the one? I think it's the one. And you struggle with it. And it seems like you're doing something. There are a million other ways to get that card out, what you're trying to do. And there's no reason to use a move you're not comfortable with.
Familiar with,
And my issue with that is that I can see that you're struggling with the move. And then why did you not reshoot it, like to have it to send us,
Yeah. Since you guys are sending us videos, when you are editing and putting the music in, you can see if something is not well. But again,
I'm trying to think if I have any advice for the actual move.
It has to be done fast.
It has to be done fast. Yeah, like very fast.
Yeah, you're here,
and then one. Yeah, I'm almost. But you have to, beat.
Yeah, just work on it. Keep practicing it. It's a wonderful move.
It's a beautiful move, but Anyway, let's move on. It's not exactly a routine. Like in the, I mean, you disagree, I know, because you told me you think it's an effect.
It is an effect because it's a transposition of two cards. I take it as a routine.
I think that the fact that it missed a presentation. Like if you were talking and explain why you do this, because now I just saw two cards, exchange places. And
Yes.
I would like to see something more, to be honest.
Supposedly, if since you're not using some sort of precision, it's like 8 of hearts, ace of spades,
Yeah.
change places. That's it.
Also, in the end, at the spread, we can see.
You do the move to show the ace,
Yeah.
and then you do this spread that you're like this, and you're left with one card that you drop like this, and it's distracting because it appears as if the effect is done, and then an extra card appears, and your attention goes there. What was that
like
card?
a sneaky move happened.
Yeah,
like,
where did that come from? Yeah.
So 52 Illusion, I wanna say, I want another submission from you. I am sure you're a great magician because you know moves and you dedicated the time to put this video together. So I want you to shoot another video, be more prepared, choose better moves because you chose a move that you were not familiar with.
Yeah.
So choose your moves wisely, and I'm waiting for your next submission.
That's the deal.
So this next effect is from Philip Blessed, and let's see what it looks like. Thank you for your submission. Question mark.
Your film.
I will wait. You could be just trolling, but I will take for granted that you're not, and you just had an artistic vision for this video, which I appreciate if it's not trolling.
Yeah.
There's way too much acting and just a tiny bit of magic. Like
That's the thing. When it first started, and you go to the bathroom, no one's there, and you start. He's gonna brush this, and then the frame changed, and you're in the mirror. I said, "Oh, he's gonna do a couple of effects with stuff that supposedly happened as he was brushing his teeth."
Wait, to be honest, if it was one effect, but it was more spectacular, I would still buy it. Like it had this long introduction for a huge effect, but it was just a.
Yeah, if you made your teeth vanish.
No, well, not that much, but
I would like it if it have a.
I get what you're
it
saying.
was a compilation of stuff that happens.
Like organic magic in your bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, if you started doing that thing with
the thread,
flash,
the
flash.
Yeah.
There's this effect where you can do it through your neck,
Yeah.
You know that.
Or from the eye. I mean,
you
had the perfect excuse to do all of those effects that normally you don't have an excuse.
And again, you can do something with the brush as well. I don't know what, but that's your job.
Yeah.
Kudos on the way you in the close-up when you take out the Q-tip. Kudos that you picked it in a way that it feels natural when you hold it afterwards to make the effect work. That was a good thing by your side. But it was too little.
It was too little. Also, this kind of video reminds me why I hate TikTok, and because it's a vertical instead of horizontal, and I hate watching videos like that. That's a personal thing. Doesn't not a critique to you. That's just a personal thing. But yeah, I think that my tip would be when your acting is like 80% of the video, the 10% that's magic has to be
strong as
great and strong magic to justify the fact that it's just like 3 seconds of magic and the whole minute of acting.
Yeah, but nonetheless was a good approach, a very cinematic one.
I would also like to see another video from you.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Our next effect is from and let's call him BRDK maybe.
That's
and it is a storytelling effect.
Okay, so let me tell you a very quick story, okay? Using the cards, of course. So I'm just gonna go through the cards. Tell me stop. Here? Yes? So look, there was a very wise guy, and we're gonna represent him with the King of Hearts. Perfect. You know, you can see the king is very wise because he has a long beard, and long beards are the trademark of wiseness, right? You can see Dumbledore and Gandalf. Right. Anyway, so the King of Hearts, the wise, was just sitting under a tree next to a river. Ooh, nice. Just chilling, thinking about life. You know how it is, right? And out of nowhere, on the other side of the river, the Five of Hearts appeared. Right? And the five asked the king, "Hey, how can I get to the other side of the river?" So the king looked at the river, and he looked at the five, and said, "You're already on the other side of the river." And at this moment, something amazing happened because the five realized it was true. He was on the other side.
That was very
Really
good.
well done.
Thank
Really
you
well
for
done.
your submission. Very nice. Before we start, I have to say I agree with the beard thing. Kudos. I also used to have a beard. Then on lockdown I saved, but then again. Anyway, so about the magic.
Let's start with the technique. It's flawless.
Yeah, perfect.
We have nothing to add to that. You've
So-
done all the slides.
This is gonna be Percy's favorite moment. We're gonna discuss storytelling and
Yes.
scripting.
Yes, because that's all we can say about it. Because
Yeah.
I love scripting. I love storytelling effects, and not only that. I mean, whenever I see someone taking the time to express something through his magic, it's already my best friend. You're already. My
By the
best
way, let's clear this up. Scripting is not always storytelling, but let's leave that for a theory episode.
Yeah.
So, about this effect from BRDK, first of all, we think that you don't. Can I say this? You don't need to have them select a card because
Yeah.
it's a story. You can say, so this king is a wise man, yada yada.
Yeah.
You don't have to say select.
I would add to that. If you want to have them select a card, have them select the second card, because you can present the king, talk about the wise man, blah blah blah, next to under a tree, next to a river, and then go about there was one man passing. Let's call him. What's your name? Paul. Let's call him Paul. So say stop so we can select who Paul is.
Yeah.
Nice.
And actually, that was one of my
Yeah.
issues because you say, so we have the wise man and the five. And in my head, if you're going to humanize one card, then you have to humanize the other as well. It doesn't make sense to be the wise man and the five. That's bizarre. You know what I mean? Or if it was the king and the five, could work for me. Like, that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
But I think that if you humanize your cards, they all have to be humanized. They all have to represent something.
Last night I disagreed with that.
Yeah.
Tonight I agree. I mean, yeah. No,
Doesn't it sound strange?
makes sense. Yeah, if you humanize one card, you should humanize the rest.
Yeah. Also, in the beginning, you say this will represent a wise man, etc. You don't have to point it out. Like,
It's fun. I mean, yeah, but
it's fine, but you don't need like because you saw that it's a king. You could say, so this is a king, a wise man with a long beard.
Yeah, exactly. Now I get what you mean. That you don't have to say this card will represent.
Yeah.
You don't have to spill it out that
You can
this is gonna
imply it.
Yeah. Since you're storytelling, you can go straight on like there was once a wise man with a beard. You go like this if you want to do the joke.
Yeah, you can do
He
your
was sitting
jokes.
under a tree, and straight to the story.
Yeah. Also, we both agreed that in the end, because this was a beautiful storytelling routine, some storytelling routines give you the perfect segue to have a moral of the story.
Yeah, if it's not a groundbreaking, a really touching storytelling routine, you must have some sort of moral of the story.
I don't know if you
some sort of message.
must, but for this effect, it totally could work.
Yeah, because you have someone who wants to cross the river.
Yeah.
For instance, if you go about make the dialogue be around just thinking of on top of my head like talking to the old man like I want to get where you are.
Yeah.
I want to cross the river. Do you really want to? Have you tried your best? And he goes like, yeah. And then go like, then you're already there. Sometimes when you reach a destination, you don't know you've reached it. And
scripting voice. He changes his voice. He goes into Morgan Freeman. Oh, when you go, maybe sometimes you're already there. And then you can
reveal that he.
But yeah, the point is that this effect was screaming for a moral of the story because it's about crossing paths, crossing rivers, obstacles, goals. So you could do that. You don't have to do it as fatherly and grounded like a person. Like, so child, this is a story about. You don't have storytelling. Doesn't have to be like this. But yeah. So all in all, great effect. Very nice presentation.
And interestingly enough, when Apisecg sent me that, he told me that that's the initial version. That's how I came up with the idea. It's way changed now.
Okay.
And he told me tell me what you think about it, and then I'll show you what is it
then
now.
Send us the other video. By the way, I just remembered. In the end, and during the whole effect, you do this thing where you're impressed by your display. I just clicked.
You do the display, and
you're like, wow, look at how good I am.
I did a fine job.
Which is fun. I mean, I get that it's your persona or something like that. But maybe try not to be impressed.
I would cut the end, because when you're finishing the change, you go like, what?
Yeah, you're like, what? But you're saying the story.
Yeah.
You did this whole thing to prove a point. So definitely don't be surprised at your own stuff. We've discussed this so many times. But also...
all in all, beautiful take on a storytelling trick. And I can't wait to see the final product.
Those were the submissions for this week's episode. And it's time to announce the winner.
We both agree the winner is Mitch with his brilliant work around the rubber bands.
I have to say that every time that Perseus and I go about scripting, and because we do this all the time, we say to people, guys, script your routines. And many times there are people going, yeah, but how can you script rubber bands? Because it's like, and that was a perfect example. I mean, Mitch combined 3 different effects.
And he combined also 2 different styles of scripting, because he began with the storytelling around his teacher, and then he went into metaphorical scripting, like the rubber bands symbolize the parallel universes and stuff, which was brilliantly made.
And the effects were so different. It was a rubber band changing places, a penetration effect, the Sharpie,
and the vanishing at the end.
And they were completely random, but he made them work with his script. So congratulations, Mitch. Very proud of you. Amazing work. And you win
$25 gift certificate to use on our Illusionist website. Now, if you go overboard, don't forget you can use our code Darkroom to get 10% off the whole order.
So that's it for this week's episode. Thank you for being with us. We hope you liked the submissions. And remember,
if you want to be featured in our Tips and Tricks show, you either send us an email on submissions@illusionist.com
or you go on our Discord server, and there's a text channel called Video Submissions. You post a link there and we watch it.
Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.